Hi there guys, welcome to this video. Today we're gonna talk about the French industry, fitness industry and the English fitness industry. So what I refer as English fitness industry, I'm talking rather about the American and the British because that's probably the best that I know. But obviously English is very vast and there are more than just the British and the American countries here. And I wanna talk obviously about the French fitness industry because this is where I'm from. And today obviously there is the Eiffel Tower behind, so I was like, why not make a video today for you guys, basically to get on the topic of the fitness industries and what are the differences between the French and the English globally, basically, or like the American British ones. Obviously I'm not an expert on the topic, so we're not gonna go very deep, but still I've been in the fitness industry in both basically countries, England and France, and I've been in America as well a little bit, and I've been obviously in the fitness industry for quite a while observing. And so today I wanted to highlight the differences, and obviously we're gonna try to link it with steroids a little bit and understand, you know, the influence. If obviously in France there are more steroid usage than in American countries, and what's my feel about it. I didn't really look at the statistics before making this video because that's a video I decided to make like 30 minutes ago while I was walking around Paris. So obviously this is pretty improvised and you know, don't really have time to look at the statistics, etc. But just my feel, and maybe obviously my feel will confirm within the statistics, who knows. So basically we're gonna talk about how, in my opinion, obviously bodybuilding is more of an English American thing, more popular over there than in France to start with, although there have always been, you know, bodybuilding in France as well. But you know, obviously I feel like when you look at the gyms, for example, in America or in England, this is much more popular. I think more people go there, and their culture is much, you know, usually have a hard-working mentality in English countries, and so you will see gyms that are open 24/7 in America or in England. And in France, you know, maybe in Paris you could find this, but I really doubt it. But basically we have gyms not opening 24/7. Now it's better, we have gyms, you know, opening at like 6, ending at like 11 p.m. and like you can go obviously just passing with the membership card. But you know, like 5 years ago that wasn't really something very usual in France unless you're in like big cities. And I still don't really know any gym that are open 24 hours, even in cities basically that are pretty big. And in England you could go wherever you go. If you have like a pure gym or something like this, you will go to a gym 24/7 whenever you want, which was very useful when I was in England and working at night, or just, you know, sometimes I had to catch a plane in the morning and I wanted to train the night before. Like, you know, it's super, like, you don't feel pressured because you know you can kind of go everywhere, so you still want to follow a habit. But sometimes obviously it's, you know, comforting to know you could go to the gym at 2 a.m. and, you know, get your workout in. So we don't really have this in France, and I think, you know, it's much more popular basically in English countries. A lot of things come from English countries, obviously. We have things like, you know, Halloween, like a lot of things obviously were first started in England or in America and then come to France. And I think the gym culture is a lot like this. And so this brings me to say obviously that I think that the French fitness industry is a bit different from the English fitness industry regarding steroid use. I think we have more natural French influencers than obviously, you know, well, we're more likely to come across French natural bodybuilders and have influencers that are natural and actually good, and actually than American, you know, countries where I feel like, you know, obviously the bodybuilding is more famous and there is more fitness, basically steroid use related topics over there and users. So that's just really my feel, because when I was in France, obviously I was, you know, gymming in a pretty small gym, but when I arrived in England, that's where really I discovered, you know, the steroid world kind of thing. I would see people, you know, on steroids or like looking weird with the physique that I wouldn't basically see when I was, you know, in France. So in England, when I arrived there, like it really changed my view, obviously, on quite a lot of things. And I don't know if I was lucky or, you know, it's just my sense that got me to follow French natural bodybuilding. But basically, as soon as I started bodybuilding in France, I basically, you know, found the French natural bodybuilding influencers straight away. So I didn't get really, you know, disturbed by, you know, the steroid influencers, etc., etc. And when I first, you know, started to look at when I was in England, more like English influencers, etc., I came across many more like fake natties or stuff like that that wasn't so popular in France, which I think has changed in the last years. And obviously we have much more steroid users than in the past, which is a shame. And I think that this influence of like, you know, bodybuilding came to France. Now we obviously have more gyms that are opening, you know, late, but we still have 24 hours gyms. But at the same time, you know, that's something very cool. But at the same time, obviously, there are less cool trends that are coming, which is like the steroid usage. That I think, you know, we have more and more steroid users in France. So obviously, as I said, it's just a feel about it. I don't have anything to back me up here, but I do feel that just like England felt, you know, a decade ago, like 5 years ago, now France feels more like England, basically an English fitness industry. Where we have more, you know, of this steroid usage, etc. So we get the benefits of like the English fitness industry in terms of like many more things, like, you know, more hard work and accessibility to the gyms, but as well this trend of like the fitness industry with like fitness influencers that are on steroids and shit that I didn't used to see so much back then is arriving. So I'm pretty lucky. I, you know, came across basically the natural bodybuilding side of things when I was in France, and you know, learned from here, and then obviously wasn't caught up in like listening to the bad people, basically well, not the bad people, because I don't, you know, judge steroid people as bad people, for example, but I do think that obviously their advice is not good, and so we're pretty lucky. I'm pretty lucky, you know, in that sense, and you know, it kind of like, it's pretty funny when I see like fitness, we'll say a YouTuber like Natural Hypertrophy, who is a French as well, and like going for natural bodybuilding and explaining this like to the English fitness industry, trying to bring his knowledge there. And I feel like we have actually quite a lot of French people who want to do this and do this. And it's like, you know, kind of like we had the luck to get the natural bodybuilding industry in France, and to actually now, you know, try to basically spread this knowledge in English. Obviously, I don't think that's the goal. Like my goal is obviously, because I speak English, and I think there is a bigger audience to reach and to convey natural bodybuilding to. I do think that obviously speaking English is much better. And because, as I said, in France, we already kind of have, you know, French fitness influencers actually. And so we don't really need, I feel like this as much as like in English speaking countries, and maybe we have a lot of like English natural influencers actually, but maybe there's so many also, you know, steroid users in English industry that obviously they're the naturals are like hidden, you know. And even if we have like people like Jeff Nippert, etc., within the natural bodybuilding industry, the fitness one, I don't feel like they have the same vibe as like the French one, because like the community of like the French natural bodybuilding was much more, you know, like be careful and really follow basically, you know, natural bodybuilding, and be careful about, you know, steroid users advice. But in England or you know, in America, and the fitness influencers from there don't really insist on this, you know. They'll talk about natural bodybuilding, but don't particularly say be careful about the advice that you know, the steroid influencers can give you, etc. That is not good for natural bodybuilding. Whether when I grew up, you know, following natural bodybuilding in France, we had much more this vibe of like, you know, be careful of, you know, steroid fitness influencers, because their advice might not be good for you. And there was more, I feel, push towards that. And so I was really alert of these kind of things, where I didn't really get this feel within, you know, the fitness English industry. So obviously that's just a feel, and my goal is not to say that there is a better industry than the other, because I think both have advantages, benefits, and other inconvenience. And so my goal for this video is just to say that all the countries have, you know, obviously probably different fitness industry and vibes to them, but the most important to me is to see obviously more natural bodybuilding talk within whether, you know, this is in the English industry or like the French. I think that the French is starting to be more and more steroid users, etc., and like obviously complications, health complications because of this. And so I do think that obviously we need more natural bodybuilding talk more than ever, for longevity obviously and all the things that come with health. And so I don't think there is a better industry than the other. I think the English, fitness industry is so good for the hard-working mentality and the fact that the gyms are open all the time and they popularize fitness, which is excellent. And at the same time, France, is more on the back end, it makes more time like to come here when it first starts. Usually the influence coming from basically English countries, etc. And so today I think the goal is just to have natural bodybuilding expand more in the countries. And so maybe there are other countries that are much more basically natural orientated than France. But basically what we have to do is as a whole make an effort to make natural bodybuilding more recognized, but as well obviously make a healthier fitness industry, whether it's in England, whether it's in France, and get the best out of the fitness industries out of all the countries, everywhere. Look at the advantages from everywhere and try to make them more popular everywhere we are. So that was, just a little video, obviously, about comparing fitness industries, which I'm really not an expert in, but, with the Eiffel Tower behind, I thought, this would be obviously a good topic to make and to kind of give you some insight about my field, since I've been in the fitness industry and the differences and what obviously we could make better with my own personal goal. And I think that, more people should aim for within the fitness industry, which is the natural way. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Unfortunately, we didn't have the Eiffel Tower lighting up. It's maybe not night enough. Hope you enjoyed the video regardless, and that you will be able to leave a little like or a little comment and share it if you want to help me with the channel and obviously have more interactions together, which is always better for the algorithm, but most importantly for interaction and connection with people and helping out more people in the fitness industry. So take care of yourself, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to like again, and I will see you very soon for a new video. Take care. Bye.